Throw a load of laundry in the washer or water your houseplants without feeling guilty about wasting water. Thanks to all of the rain from the March miracle storms, the Public Utilities Commission has voted to go back to 25% water rationing in San Francisco, way down from the planned 45% cutback. The revised plan is retroactive to April 1st. And as we've been reporting, the San Francisco School District could lay off many teachers because of its budget problems. And last night there was another in a series of layoff hearings. Teachers turned out fighting to save their jobs. Nearly 500 of them could get the axe. These hearings pit teacher against teacher, program against program. The school district says that it has little choice because Governor Wilson is proposing to cut $2 billion from public schools' budgets. Those same budget cuts also affect state universities. Students at San Francisco State are protesting the cutbacks, taking part in a sleep-in on campus at the administration building. This demonstration has been peaceful and is actually an outgrowth of a larger protest that started on campus at around noon yesterday. In business news, prices on the Tokyo Stock Exchange closed lower on Wednesday. The Nikkei average was down 161 points to close at 26,330. That's a drop of 0.6%. And the New York Stock Exchange looks like this. The Dow is up by almost 9 points at 2939. The time right now is 6:44. The demolition of the Embarcadero Freeway in San Francisco is still on hold this morning. Bill Haulman has the latest on that and details about a proposal to put the Central Freeway on the demolition hit list.
Demolition workers spent the day standing around in the shadow of the Embarcadero Freeway waiting for word to resume work. But that word never came as Caltrans and Cal OSHA officials continued to confer with the contractor on safety measures. A Caltrans spokesman told me that state engineers want absolutely everything in writing before work will resume, and no one knows when that will be. And while we wait for demolition to resume here, San Francisco supervisors have launched a resolution asking Caltrans to tear down the Central Freeway. That's the Highway 101 extension from Mission Street past City Hall to Franklin and Gough Streets. It, like the Cypress and Embarcadero freeways, is a double-decker built to the same standards. And like the Embarcadero, it's been closed since the earthquake. Now, San Francisco supervisors on a 6-3 vote have called on Caltrans to tear it down and replace it with a surface or subsurface roadway.
Take longer and take the time to do it right. We're increasingly being told settle for second best because it's too much of a hassle to take the time to do it right.
Maher says the Central divides a community and causes unacceptable air pollution. In opposition to demolition, Supervisor Terrence Hallinan points to streets clogged with traffic trying to move to the Marina, North Beach, and Chinatown. He wants the Central repaired.
I think that the reopening of the freeway should be done and should be done as fast as possible.
Whether the Central will be demolished or repaired remains to be seen. Caltrans, not the supervisors, has the final say. Bill Haulman, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Double-deck freeways don't have a very good track record in the Bay Area. A section of Interstate 880 in Oakland was torn down after the quake that we had in 1989. The Embarcadero is coming down, and Interstate 280 in San Francisco is closed right now because it was seriously damaged by the earthquake. The Los Angeles City Council and Police Commission are still at odds over how to deal with LA Police Chief Daryl Gates. Yesterday, the council asked the commission to drop its attempt to suspend Gates, and in return, Gates was to drop a lawsuit against the city. The commission could get out of litigation that way, but the two sides agreed to disagree.
It's our position that in the aftermath of the Rodney King case, we must undertake a serious and legitimate investigation that includes both the command structure as well as questions of brutality and racism.
A superior court is supposed to hear more on this case Thursday. In Sacramento, a panel for a state assembly has approved a proposal to televise executions at San Quentin's gas chamber. That proposal would limit TV coverage to a single pool camera, and that camera would not be allowed to videotape the executioner or any of the witnesses. Now that proposal goes to committee. At the same time, public TV station KQED is appealing to a federal court to be allowed to show executions on TV. Nobody has been executed in California since 1967, but that may change. Death warrants are expected to be signed within the next year. And the time right now is 6:47. We'll be right back. That's a live view on the Embarcadero. You see some people exercising before they head into work. The time right now is 6:50. It's Wednesday, the 24th. Let's check on the weather for today. Before you head out the door and on to work or to school this morning, you may want to take an umbrella with you because there is a chance of rain today. The forecast calls for mostly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers, and the highs will reach the upper 50s for most of the Bay Area today. Looking at the expected highs for some cities around the Bay, as you can see, mostly upper 50s, except for San Jose, which will peak in the low 60s. It'll be about 57 degrees in Santa Rosa, 56 in San Rafael, up to 59 degrees in San Francisco, Concord 57, Oakland 58, 56 degrees in Redwood City, and again 63 degrees in San Jose. And here are the record temperatures in San Francisco on this date, April 24th. The record high was set back in 1926 when it reached 85 degrees. The record low was set way back in 1899 when it dipped to 43 degrees. And here are today's tides at the Golden Gate. There's a high tide in about 2 hours at 8:59. A low tide will come in at about 2:51 this afternoon, and then there will be another high tide later on this evening at 9:52. Time now to check in on traffic with Jeffrey Schaub. In that picture, you could see part of the Embarcadero. I mean, it's just remarkable. Well, it's just sitting there, but it's remarkable when you see just how much they've done in a short amount of time.
They've done a lot.
They've got such a long way to go, though.
And it's dramatic change.
What's the latest on that?
In terms of how long it's going to take, it's already going to be a month over. So we're talking July now until the Embarcadero is really, at least that. And a lot depends on how long they're at a standstill right now. Yeah, and it also depends on whether or not they have any more delays. Right. If there are any more incidents, hopefully there won't be, then, you know, it could get carried over into the late summer. But at any rate, it will be coming down, and there are no traffic problems, major traffic problems associated with the Embarcadero right now, except for the city streets being torn up by all the extra traffic. Yeah, speaking of city streets, there's an accident in San Francisco at Broadway and Sansom. And that is blocking one lane of Broadway, so traffic is backed up at that particular intersection. Let's go over to the board, and I'll show you what else is happening around the Bay Area this morning. We've got a problem along the peninsula, a vehicle fire northbound Highway 101, north of Embarcadero Road. And that has a lane blocked off, and traffic is backed up almost a half of a mile now, but not all that bad. It's not stop-and-go conditions, it's just sort of slow-and-go leading across there. Let's talk about the bridges, the San Mateo and the Dumbarton. The San Mateo is your best bet right now this morning. No real delay to speak of, but the Dumbarton's already backed up to Newark Boulevard. I don't know why, but usually it's Thursday, ironically, that the Dumbarton is backed up the biggest. That's because it's a payday for a lot of people, and the people at the bridge say that's the reason for that, believe it or not. Okay, the Bay Bridge this morning. Let's take a look at conditions there. Just a minor backup at the toll plaza. There is a stall westbound on the cantilever section. And we'll go live now and take a look at conditions leading off the Bay Bridge on the San Francisco side. There are no problems whatsoever. So drive carefully this morning, and we'll see you again at 7:25 with another update. Liz?
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. In the news this morning, Costa Rica and Panama are trying to pick up the pieces following yesterday's 7.4 earthquake. The quake inflicted widespread damage and killed at least 79 people. It destroyed bridges and roads, cutting off some areas from aid. Officials at the Panama Canal, however, report no damage. A drive to help victims of the quake is underway here in the Bay Area. San Francisco has returned to 25% water rationing. The Public Utilities Commission approved the move yesterday. Rationing had been at 45%. The PUC also cut out restrictions on washing cars and watering golf courses. And in case you missed the beginning of the 6:30 report, we do have some sad news to share with you this morning. A member of our family here at Eyewitness News has died. Bob Haulman, our friend, co-anchor, and weather forecaster, died this morning. He apparently had a heart attack and died at a Bay Area hospital. For the last 7 months, Bob has brought you the news and the weather here on the Morning Report. He was a newcomer to Channel 5, but a longtime radio and TV personality here in the Bay Area.
And we're going to leave you this morning with pictures of Bob, an anchorman, a father, and a friend. And we are really going to miss him.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Liz Gonzales.
I'm Bob Haulman. It's Thursday. Welcome to the 6:30 report.
Go ahead.
If you haven't checked your lotto.
Here is a P3, one of the Lockheed P3s, if I can move it in the picture. This is the MAD boom. This is used to detect large areas of metal underneath the surface of the ocean. Without it, the 4-engine turboprop plane was the Lockheed Electra. This is a P3 loop showing storm systems coming across the Pacific, and they're going driven across the Pacific by a jet stream that's almost 200 miles an hour, bringing those storm systems on in. The next storm... Recognition of the fact that the longest voyage starts with the first step. George Wells has taken that first step. He's trimmed his hair, and that'll save some water. And that makes George Wells our Haulman's Hero of the Week. George? Okay, well, we're over here on the island paradise of Alameda, and our best of wishes to you, and not in your retirement, because you'll never retire, you'll keep busy. And we're here with Mayor Chuck Carica, who is outgoing mayor of the city of Alameda, and a very happy man. Back to the Bay, to the Golden Gate Bridge now. Jeffrey Schaub's up there, just behind us. Jeffrey, I can almost see you from here.